Well, hi there. It is not quite 11:30 and time to show up. I'm showing up. I'm glad you showed up. I appreciate every single one of you. Do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And let's shit in the box. So I was watching this video earlier today, and somebody was talking about why are there no major competitors to Paradox Interactive. And naturally, I drew the parallel to why are there no major competitors to The Sims, which was true up until the beginning of last week when Paralives dropped. The Sims has basically owned the life sim genre for like this extended period of time, and Paradox Interactive has likewise owned the grand strategy genre, with the sole exception of the Civilization series, which is arguably its own thing. I mean, I think Civilization is kind of synonymous with the grand strategy genre of games, and Paradox Interactive does like a bunch of them, like Europa Universalis and Stellaris, which I am like $350 into. So, and there was a moment literally just a couple of days ago when I was freeing up disk space, and I said, I should really uninstall these things that are taking up all this space, and I don't ever play them. And my immediate response, I looked at Stellaris and I went, but I like Stellaris. I like playing Stellaris. And I just went, dude, you have not played Stellaris since June of 2021. You don't like it that much. And that's true, because a game takes for fucking ever to play. Okay? And it's just one of those sunk cost things. Like I played Sims 3 for the longest time. I got 771 hours in that game, probably 775 now, because I was just playing it a little bit to compare it to Paralives, and I played Sims 4 to compare it to Paralives. I thought I should play Sims 4 a little to make a reasonable comparison with Paralives, and I hate Sims 4. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. It's just, I don't want to say it's a bad game. I don't like it. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the feel of it. I don't like the way the people behave in it. And that really kind of goes to the question of why it's so hard to compete in either the life sim genre or the grand strategy genre. Because at the core of these two genres is a tight, optimized, efficient, and most importantly, reliable little system that you're running dozens or hundreds of. For a grand strategy game, that is the economy and production system. Your production system for a nation is critical. If that doesn't run fast and well, your game's dead. It just doesn't fucking work. And for a life sim, for a game like Paralives or The Sims, it has to be the individual people's reactions. The people have to react the way you expect people to react. Paralives has trouble with that right now. The people don't react the way you would expect them to react. But I feel like they're working on that. I feel like that's a very, very important thing. And the way The Sims did this, I think, was really, really critical to the success of that game. Because when your sim had a need that wasn't being met, they would break the fourth wall and wave at you and bitch about it. They would let you know what was going on. And that's what happened with the refrigerator with my family last week. Was the refrigerator broke, and my parents were like, oh well, refrigerator's broke, can't have anything to eat, guess I'll die. That's not the way real people react. A real person, when they're starving to death, is going to piss and moan and whine and complain that they're starving. Or they're going to go out and get some food. And in The Sims, if your refrigerator was broken, your Sim would stamp their feet and yell and bitch and complain, and there would be a word balloon that had a picture of a fridge in it. Because the fridge is broken. And they would wave their arm at you, and they would yell that they're hungry, and they would have a little plate with silver on it. They go, I'm hungry. And then they'd go to the refrigerator and go, our refrigerator's broken. And that would communicate to you, the player. That would be an interface thing. I'm hungry and the refrigerator's broken. Oh shit, I'd better do something. But my parents were just like, oh well. They didn't yell, they didn't bitch, they didn't complain, they didn't signal me that the refrigerator's broken. They don't signal me when the tub is broken or when the toilet is broken. And I have noticed that when you click on a toilet and say use the toilet, they will not go to the toilet you click on. They will go to the nearest toilet. They will go to the closest one. This creates problems. When I noticed that this was causing problems with the easel when you're doing art. If you have an unfinished painting and you click on it and you say finish the painting, your parent will go try to finish the painting at the other easel. And they can't because it's not there. So they'll just paint forever. And the painting will never get finished. And on a couple of occasions, the painting has gotten wedged and you can't finish it even if you get them to the correct easel. It'll just be unfinished forever. It gets into this indeterminate state somehow, and there's nothing you can do about it. I need to learn more about the control panel and the debug console and all of these features so I can get more information about these bugs and I can help them more when I report them and go, this is what happened. This is the thing that fucked up and this is what you need to repair. I was a QA guy. You can't breed it out of us. It's not possible. We break shit and we go, it is broken. Why is it broken? Can I break it again? What do I need to do to break it? What is the fastest and most efficient way I can break it? Speed run from nothing to break the system. What can I do? You can't get that out of us. We're always going to do it. And sometimes it's hard to determine when you're playing a game whether breaking the system is something that you need to report to them. Because sometimes it's just like, look, what I did in the game was unreasonable. That's not something you need to fix. It's just, I'm fucked up and weird and did some dumb shit. You don't need to fix your game so people can't do dumb shit. Leave it where they can do dumb shit. If sometimes the shit I do in the game, if it fucks up, that's on me. So... And that's natural, you know. It's some of us are just like that, and I'm not as good at it as a lot of people. I have the impulse, but man, I used to work with a guy, Paul at Microsoft. Oh shit, he used to just like he'd touch shit and it would break. He would go and he would say, "Okay, so you got it ready for testing?" Yeah, and he'd start it up, and he'd sit there and he'd look at it and he'd go, click, and it would crash. Just like the sixth sense, he would just look at the system and he'd think about it and he would go, I bet this doesn't work. And it didn't. It never worked. It just crashed and break. And that was we ran everything past him first, man. And Devin was like Devin was the detail king. He remembered every little thing that he did. He would be like 30 clicks in on something and know exactly what he clicked and where he clicked it and like the exact fucking position. Just incredible memory for what he did on the way through, what he did on the path. I thought I was good at that, but holy fuck, Devin was good at it. He was amazingly good. My big thing is I'm detail oriented. You're supposed to follow the procedure. I follow the fucking procedure. There are all of these people who are just like, yeah, well, and I already know all of that stuff works, so I'll just do this. No, I'm just like this, step by step. I'm slow a lot of the time, but I will find shit other people miss. And I will regress bugs that other people don't. People say, I found something weird in here. I'll go in and go, it won't load the DVD menu. What do you mean it won't load the menu? It won't load the menu. Oh my God, we had an issue during the Vista development. When we were developing Vista, I had just started on the team. And they handed over to me. They're like, your job is the DVD subsystem because we all fucking hate it. And I was like, okay. So the first thing you're supposed to do is you put a DVD in the system, you make sure it autoplays. And I put a DVD in the system and nothing happened. Hey guys, it doesn't work. And they're like, oh, no. You just go, you double click the image file. We've only got 2 DVDs in the whole lab, so we use these image files on the network. That's not the test. You're supposed to put a physical DVD into the drive. Well, we just use the image file. But it's failing the first test because you can't put the DVD in the drive. It doesn't autoplay. What do you mean it doesn't autoplay? It doesn't autoplay. And I showed them this, and they were just like, man, we got to request more DVDs. I went to the dollar store and dropped like $40 of my own money. And I just walked in, they had this big box of DVDs. And I just pointed at the box and said, I'll give you $40 for that whole box. And the owner looked over at it and said, yeah, sure, whatever. Gave him 2 20s. And I took that whole box of DVDs in there. And I had no idea what the DVDs were. It was all of these old Hong Kong action movies. All of these terrible kung fu movies from like the 1970s. So that's what we were testing the DVD systems on, was these awful kung fu movies. We watched so many Golden Harvest Chow Brothers films. Oh my God, it was so funny. 5 Deadly Venoms is peak. But yeah, so Windows Vista was tested on Hong Kong action cinema. That's what we tested it on. But the thing about simulations, I was talking to somebody about this earlier. He said, "What do you know about simulations? You've never written a simulation game." Well, not a game, no. I've never written a game, but that's not the only type of simulating that you do, you know. And if you want to know just how much of a fucking geek I am, this is signed. I have a signed copy of Building Simulation Models with SimScript 2.5 because I used to work with Ed. But yeah, simulations are a thing that I have some experience with, that I have worked with. And if you don't have an efficient, optimized core at the bottom of it, your simulation is going to fuck up. Now, in a game, it's not so much about, if you don't have an optimized core for the consumption of resources and the attempt to fill needs, that's not so important. But having your people react like real people is tremendously important. And in a grand strategy game, your economy has to act like a real economy. And that's hard. That's really hard. I'm a bit of an econ wonk, so I know just how complex and difficult economies can be, because they're so easy to break. There's so many levers, and people forget. There are markets in everything. Everything is a market. Everything is a trade, and people forget that. They don't think of certain things as a trade. It's like your job. When you go to your job, you are selling your labor to your employer for money. Most people don't think of it that way. They think, I have a job, and because I have a job, I get paid. You're selling your work. You are trading your labor for cash money. And that's a form of exploitation. You're exploiting your employer for money. Your employer is exploiting you for labor. Even if you both treat each other well, it's still exploitation because each of you is getting something they want from the other. That's exploitation. It's just making use of something. It's like a lot of people don't understand that the $5 you spend on coffee at Starbucks, that's capital. That $5 is capital. That's the input to the system. You put the $5 into the system and the coffee comes out and you get the output of the system because you owned the input to the system. It's a production process. People don't think of it that way. Trade is production. It produces a change in the ownership of goods. I get weird about this. I get complex about this. I get geeky about this because it's fun. It's one of the reasons that I like Paralives and The Sims and grand strategy games. And I've been playing this fishing simulator, Fishing Incorporated. Not idle fishing. There's a game called Idle Fishing. That's dog shit. But Fishing Incorporated, that's pretty good. I've been playing that. It's but simple. It's the simplest thing in the world to play, but you know, it will sink up a lot of time, and that's kind of what you want a game like that to do. But Paralives has that core. It just hasn't detailed it enough. There are some reactions that your paras need to have, and they're not having them. And The Sims had those, and that's one of the things that made it as popular and successful as it was, because it was really very well done. Paralives has some work to do, but they have that core. They have the core where the paras do stuff, where the paras react to scenarios, they react to situations. And we just need a little more detail on that. We just need a little more effort on it. And it'll start to be, I don't want to say it'll start to be playable, or it'll start to be fun. Because it is playable and it is fun. There are some complaints. I will always have complaints about a game. There will always be complaints that I have about a game. Don't you worry about that. But Paralives is like, it's hanging on the precipice of being a much better game than it is if the team just does a couple of things right in the next few months. Weeks? Do they need to do it in a couple of weeks? I don't think they need to do it. I think they probably have 4 to 6 months to get most of these bugs ironed out. And they'll be able to keep some momentum. But if they lose that momentum, I don't know where they end up. The good news is they seem smart about it. They seem fairly devoted to the idea of just stick to your knitting and don't pull a John Romero and think you're God. Don't take out full page ads in the trades saying that you're about to make everybody your bitch. No. Don't start a new company headquarters and give it a marble floor. Don't do that. They seem fairly humble. They seem to understand who they are and where they are and how far they've gotten, and that it's really not that far. It's good. They've done really good, but that momentum is going to be hard to keep. And I'm hoping they do a good job of sticking to it, because I mean, honestly, They've been with it 7 years. I haven't been watching them the whole time. I've been kind of eyeing them out of the side for about 5 years and going, I don't think this game's ever going to release. Of course, my game's been in development several years, and I'm sure there are people thinking mine's never going to release because small core mechanic has to work. And right now, I don't want to make to do a save system and a configuration dialogue and test resolutions and make sure that you can do stuff on different monitor config. I don't wanna. I just don't want. I'm throwing a little mental tantrum about it and refusing to do it. That's why I'm playing all of these video games. I exist in 3 states. I've got some new subscribers, so I should mention I tend to exist in 3 states. And those 3 states are, number 1, I have a problem and I'm actively working on fixing it. Number 2, I have a problem and I want to fix it, but I don't know how, so I'm playing a bunch of video games. And number 3, I have a problem and I don't fucking care. I'm just going to ignore it for a while. And that is when I watch a whole lot of movies and television and anime. If I'm talking incessantly about the stuff that I'm watching, stuff's going bad. If I'm talking incessantly about the stuff I'm playing, that's good. And if I'm talking incessantly about the stuff that I'm doing, that's the ideal location. That's where I need to be. I'm not there right now. But I'm still just playing video games and not like watching a bunch of anime. Although I have been wanting to rewatch Rising of the Shield Hero. As long as I'm still playing some video games, things are fine. I don't know. I don't really have anything additionally productive to say about this. Just the grand strategy and the life sim genre have that commonality that they operate on a central system that has to work flawlessly and efficiently, or the game doesn't work. If you can't simulate 500 economies across the world in a grand strategy game, it's crap. You're not going to do well. And if you can't simulate 500 people in a town in a life sim, that's not going to go much of anywhere. Well, I don't know that it has to be 500. You can probably get away with 150. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm sitting on this. Just kind of thinking about that. Just kind of thinking about it and going, these 2 genres do not seem alike, but they are on a technical level. I find that sort of thing a lot. I find that with a fair number of game genres where what makes the game work is the same as what makes an entirely different kind of game work. And I don't know. I just find that interesting. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that. Do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And, okay, bye.